Henry is here, my girl from DC radio, now in Columbus, Ohio radio, Leah's Lemonade. You have seen her. How many of your interviews do you think your pop culture interviews have gone viral from Leah's Lemonade?
I don't know. Maybe 5 or more.
Oh, easily. What was the last one that went super viral for you? That was like picked up in Yahoo.com. That was everywhere.
Well, the last one that was pretty viral for me was when I interviewed Bambi from Love and Hip Hop. That was the last one that kind of caught the blogs. Probably the last one that was like everywhere was the CBJ one for sure.
Yes. Okay. Well, she is. I love you. You are like one of my go-to pop culture people. You are so good with the interviews. You and I bonded because we love the shade, honey. The shade, the dirt, the messiness. And we love to call each other and talk shit. Okay, so this is like my girl. We talk a lot of shit. But you and I also love 1,000 Pound Sisters, and you're a 1,000 Pound Sisters expert, like I am. And I don't know how many months have we been building up to this quote unquote epic fight that supposedly was so bad. And I want your theory on this, was so bad that production shut down for 2 weeks while they were in Florida. And this fight was being billed that Chris was involved, who, of course, is the brother to Tammy and Amy Slaton. And they were involved, and Amanda and Misty. So, all right, Leah, what did you think of last night's, and by the way, next week is the season finale where we find out that Caleb has passed. So, all right, first let's talk this fight and this latest episode. What'd you think?
Yeah, it was a little anticlimactic once you watched it. I mean, they did a great job teasing it. I mean, the tease made me think this is about to go crazy. I was like sitting in anticipation. I was like, can't miss it. My mom is here visiting me, and she thinks I'm crazy as hell. Every time it comes on, I'm like, it's 1,000 Pound Sister time. Let's get to it. But I genuinely was a little disappointed by the fight. I mean, it was interesting to watch Amy kind of lose it, because that's not really her temperament. It's never been since they were on My 600 Pound Life, then to the transition of 1,000 Pound Sisters. That was never her temperament. So I think it's very clear, regardless, that she's in a space that is not quite herself after this separation and I guess trying to be a single mother. But baby, she was fucking Amanda up. I was like, oh, okay, wait a minute. Listen, I grew up on the Bad Girls Club. I wanted to see a little bit more, Me
too. But wait, do we think they edited out? Do we think they edited it like that? Maybe it did get so bad because the reason I say that is because the tease for the season finale is like is Amy like breaking down. I can't believe I did this to her. And I'm like, okay, yeah, you like grabbed her shirt, like ripped her shirt a bit, but from what we saw, right? But it didn't seem like it was that epic. So I'm like, are we getting an edit? Because I'm just trying to think of why they would edit it. Like maybe, I don't know, maybe I'm just making this up, but you know what I mean? I'm like, that was like not what I thought it was going to be at all.
Yeah, I genuinely thought her and Amanda were going to fight, like genuinely, like her hitting Amanda and Amanda going, don't put your hands on me, Tammy. Don't do it. I'll fuck you up. And okay. Like, I don't know. I was expecting a little bit more violence. So I don't know. I think it was just a little... But, maybe because I also think, too, when you sign up for these reality shows, you feel like you know what you're getting into, but you really don't. Like, I think, when something like that happens and your whole family's like BS is on Front Street, there probably was a conversation behind closed doors. Because granted, I don't think that Amy and Tammy might be the smartest colors in the box, the brightest colors in the box. But I would hope that they are getting some type of producer credit or something. So I would imagine that maybe they are, behind the scenes, maybe making a little bit of, hey, let's cut this part out, or hey, let's not show the extent. Let's not do ABC. Or they just hooked us in by saying that. One or the other.
I know. It's really hard to tell. I mean, it was just, I don't know. And Amanda at one point looked at directly at the cameras, and I was like, okay, is she going to throw a fit and doesn't want this full fight in there? This is my other theory. And you've obviously dealt with a lot of reality stars, but Amy is in the midst of a messy divorce with Michael, who we all hate now, Yes. So a lot of people are like, is this season going to be used against Amy in court? And then therefore, could this fight have been edited down in a way to protect Amy from, losing those boys potential? Not that I don't think she would, but could.
No, if you listen to Michael talk, which he barely did throughout his whole tenure on this fucking show, I mean, if you listen to him talk, he don't got the sense the good Lord gave anybody. So I'm like, shit, who are the kids better with? You know, a reality star that might have had a breakdown, or a man who allegedly is getting left because he played video games. He looks like an honest working blue collar man to me. I would have thought he was a plumber or maybe like a HVAC guy or something, but his ass sitting at home playing video games. I'm like, girl, you're an idiot. You're on a reality show and this man's only check is his contribution to your reality show.
He's making $5 on Twitch. He is twitching, and apparently he was making $10, and he was sitting there for 5 hours straight while she was doing everything. I kind of wonder. I don't know. I tend to believe. Oh, the Sun is the publication, which, I mean, the Sun is like trash, but whatever. But, they do usually have these insiders that they pay money to. So I feel like the fight was more epic than it was. And they were probably, I feel like they threw Amy a bone. And, so she would, they can't use it against her in court.
Well, I mean, let's be clear, though. I think that, it takes away from her storyline. Maybe if she's not doing this single mother plight. And, I don't know, maybe they're just thinking like 3 seasons ahead. Because I don't think these people are ever getting off TV personally. Because, I mean, what would they be doing otherwise?
I think you're right. What was your overall take of season 5 so far? Like, what have you thought of the season?
I've liked this season because I think that it's a different dynamic. I think we're seeing a little bit more. I think, usually it's just like everybody's trying to lose weight. Everybody, I'm fat, bitch. Let me lose weight. Like this season, now I'm doing my country accent. This season, I feel like we really got more in depth of who they are as people. We got to see development. I personally really like Amanda. Amanda, their sister, to me is like the glue and the common sense to the family. She's a little rough around the edges. Don't piss her off, but I feel like she is definitely the glue to the family. So I like her and the other sisters being more involved. I like seeing their full family dynamic because it gives you a better idea of like who these 2 people we kind of plucked from this reality show, gave them their own start. And now we see the full totality. Even when the mom comes and you hear what the mom says, and, Tammy talks about how her mom never thought she would ever lose weight or never thought she'd be able to have surgery, or hell, they even thought she wouldn't even live this long. So I think it gives them more depth for sure. I enjoy seeing the more advanced part of them rather than them sitting and eating a bunch of food and going, bitch, we need to lose weight. You know what I mean? We could do that every season if that's the case.
No, I like that's a really good take. I really like that because I felt like Tammy is not, the Tammy's usually a real bitch, and she's real sassy. We get these great epic one-liners, like try being my size, Amy. I mean, that was like, and we haven't gotten that. What?
I think I got the most comedic line from any of the seasons when the bitch said she was craving water because she thought she was pregnant. Now that alone took me out, clean out. I was like, you know what? Wrap this shit up because this can't be healthy for me. I must be gaining weight as I'm watching the show because this bitch said she was craving water.
Okay.
Water. Sarah,
I take this all back. And she goes, and the woman was like, I mean, you could tell this OBGYN was like, oh, fuck. And the OBGYN's like, okay, you've had an IUD in for 16 years. I mean, do you know how, like, that thing must have been growing cobwebs and every other fucking thing up there. 16 years, she never had it changed out. And then she goes, oh, I think I could be pregnant because I'm craving water. You're right. And that OBGYN was like, you could tell she was thinking to herself, I did 8 years of fucking medical school. I'm $500,000 in debt to tell this bitch that she's just dehydrated.
And no, it killed me because that's Amy, the next slide. Bitch, you ain't pregnant. You just want some fucking water. You're dehydrated. I'm like, yo, they are reality gold.
They are so good. You're right. Okay, we're back. It is an epic season. It's an epic season. I agree with you. We're getting a lot more depth. It is so hard for Amy. Wait, now did you feel, I also felt like, I don't feel like the family is sympathetic to Amy at all. Do you?
Okay, Sarah, so this is why I'm glad we're having this conversation because I'm childless, you are a mother, and I think that you probably relate to an Amy plight more than her. Not that you've been a single mother, but more so. I think that moms, and we see it on the internet now, moms more talking about like raising kids and kind of having to just, kids want their mom when they're upset. They don't call their dad, they want their mom. Like there's just a sentimental connection with children and their mothers that we cannot not pay attention to. But I think I'm looking at it from a single person point of view, and I'm just like, and maybe because I had a single mother, maybe it's just for me, I just have no fucking sympathy. I'm like, Amy, get your fucking ass together. And don't get me wrong, it's hard. It's hard when you have kids with someone and you think you're going to be with them and you think you're going to have help. But hell, from what it sounds like, you've been a single mom, bitch. The only difference is y'all don't live together.
That's right. Yeah, that's true. He's not playing video games in front of you. Yeah.
I'm struggling to all the way empathize with her. I do see, because I am the person at the restaurant when the kids are crying. I'm like, shut your fucking kid up. But I also know that being a mom is difficult. And like, you have 2 young kids, like under 2, that are crazy and yelling, and it could be overwhelming. But I also think too, she's so busy thinking she's being criticized and judged that she's not open to fair criticism, which is when they were like last night, don't feed the kid on the rental couch. Your kid's going to fuck up the rental couch. But what does she do? Go over there and feed the kid on the rental couch. It's just like, I don't know. And then I also think, Amy's not all the way there. So I think there's like several factors to, why it's playing out the way it's playing out. But I struggle a little because I'm just like, girl, I'm like with Chris, you put your big girl panties on and be a fucking mom. Like you just, that's what you chose. You packed up your shit like, I'm leaving. That's her line this season. I'm leaving. I'm about to go at the restaurant. I'm leaving at the house. I'm leaving at the rental. I'm leaving. So leaving is your thing, bitch. So when you leave, that is a choice. Okay. If you wanted to be with your shitty husband and stay and still be a single parent, you could have did that, but you were leaving, remember? So now that you've left, you have to deal with the consequences of what leaving means. And so I just think that, not to say that leaving is not hard, but it's also not an excuse.
There's a Leah Henry read. Okay. Wow. See, now I felt the opposite. I feel like they're kind of picking on her. She's sitting there. She's trying to like shove food in her mouth because the kids like won't go to sleep. Then she burps and they go, oh, you're burping in that kid's face. It's like, okay, give her a minute. She's trying to like hold this child. And none of them, Tammy seems to help the kids a little bit, which by the way, when they were on that boat ride and Tammy was holding one of the boys, I was like, can someone go over here and grab, right? I'm sorry, but if they hit a bump, like I wouldn't really rely on Tammy to hold on to the baby, right?
Sarah, shut up. Oh my God.
Did anyone else watch that scene? I was like, get the baby out of Tammy's fucking hands. The boat's like going, I don't know how many miles per hour. They're out in the middle of nowhere. No life jacket on the kid. I'm like, how are we leaving this child in charge, with Tammy? None of them seem to like grab the kids, Glenn and the boys. It's like, I feel like they pick on her so bad this season. They don't even give her a hug and are like, you're doing a good job, mama. But it's so funny, you're right, because the way you feel is how I would completely have felt until I have a kid. And then now I've been at that restaurant where they're inconsolable. And everybody's looking at you and you're just like so hungry and you're tired and you're like, oh, please, I just want to eat. And the kid's like melting down. You got to pack everything up. And it's so now I completely can relate to a mama, but I kind of feel like they really like put a lot of shit, I think, on her shoulders. And by the way, she's like, they all have, but she really helped Tammy. They all helped Tammy so much to even get Tammy to live. Like Tammy ought to be fucking up off her ass and like helping those kids all the time, right?
I also think they switched roles usually, and they said that they kind of hinted towards that in the show. Like, usually Tammy was the bitch and Amy is, but what's interesting too, from an editing standpoint that I just thought about, what sent Amy over the edge was Tammy kind of coming at her. But they didn't show the leading up interaction, because how does it then come from Tammy was assisting her with the baby? Because really Tammy was the one who got aggressive first. If you remember, she walked up and was like, Amy, I'm done with your shit. And that's when Amy lost it. Yeah. And Amy said, I told you I was about to lose it. So there was some build up between them before that even happened. Yeah. I'm curious to know what that led to. I know she was kind of getting frustrated at the table when she burped in the kids' faces, and they were like, "Don't do that." But also, too, here's the thing. I come from a family very similar to this, meaning that my family's very blunt. They don't give a fuck about how you feel about anything. They'll say whatever they want to say, how they want to say, which is why I'm like very blunt. But I also can empathize with that, because when you do grow up in a family like that, the expectation is everything is going to be very raw, cut, and to the point. But when you're not feeling that shit and someone is raw, it's like, bitch, give me a motherfucking second to gather myself, and then like let's go from there. So I've been in situations with my family where it's just like, enough. You know what I mean? So I do see the how the dynamics were at play there, but Amy been like this the whole season. It'd be different if this was just one thing and it silently led up to this big blowout. But girl's been boohooing and crying since episode 1.
Well, a lot of people agree with you, and most of the time people never agree with me, so I'm used to it. So I'm sure people are going to be like, they don't get, like, I don't care. But all right, so has it been interesting for you to watch? The other thing that's so hard for me to watch is Caleb, like, knowing that he passes away. Is anyone else, like, I get so sad. He seems so sweet, and I'm like, oh my God, can we send a camera up there more? Like, what was he going through the last year of his life? And to this day, supposedly, we don't really know the cause of death. Like, it's never been revealed. I don't know. Is that hard for you to watch? I'm so like kind of almost I have this weird anxiety about seeing the final episode.
I think they're definitely foreshadowing the death if you're paying attention, because I'm watching the selective clips they're picking. I want you to like notice the fact that, you know, Tammy keeps saying, I feel like I'm living my life without you. I feel like it's unfair. I feel like, you know, we're married and I'm at the beach and you're supposed to be here. It's almost like they're foreshadowing that Tammy's going to go on and live without him, right? Because when I was watching it, honestly, I forgot he died. So I had to Google it and I was like, oh shit. Okay, now I remember he did die. Yeah. So I'm like, they're showing a lot of him for us to conclude that he doesn't make it. And so, you know, I think they really wanted to give us a totality idea of what's to come, and then also the dynamic between Tammy and Caleb, because I remember before they started shooting and when Tammy married him and it was all over, you know, the things, you know, Tammy used to be in and out of negative relationships on this show. We've seen her fair share of men who were just fetishizing her, or, you know, people using her or whatever for the moment. And I think that, you know, when this news broke that she married Caleb, that was the first thought. I was like, oh Lord, she went to rehab, just found somebody, and there we go.
Yeah.
But then when you watch the season and you watch their interactions and their engagements, you can really tell they were in that thing together. They were in that, they were friends, they were confidants, and Tammy was in there a long time. And then when on the teaser, they show that all of the family was at the wedding. I think that was indicative of her relationship with him, because when Tammy had dated people they didn't care for, they were very, very loud and not supportive of it. So I think for them to like stand behind her on her wedding day and support her, that is a testament to what Caleb was to Tammy. And so I think this is going to be really, really hard to watch.
Well, and I think to me, the thing that about Caleb that I love, at least on camera, is he really seems to treat her the way she deserves to be treated. Like, he's always like, oh my God, I love you so much. You're beautiful. Here's a flower. I got some, you know, he's joking with it. It's the way I think you want to see anybody be with someone, because he seems like he's crazy about her. And, you know, he apparently strategically got into that rehab center because he found out she was there and married her. Did you know this? Yeah, this is like
now that's a little interesting. No, I did not know that shit. That I don't know.
Okay, this is an ongoing theme, by the way, for TLC shows. So Sister Wives, it came out that, you know, Christine Brown got married to David Woolley. David Woolley's daughter, the minute that Christine Brown announced she was single, called him to make a profile to specifically see if he could date Christine. He did. He knew who she was before. Okay, so that's one. Now Mary Brown has a guy who allegedly went after her specifically because he knew she was on the show, and he tried to come out here to Orange County and date a housewife. When that didn't work, now he's in love with Mary Brown. Okay, now then Caleb found out that he always felt that he had a connection with Tammy Slaton. found out she was at that rehab center and specifically lobbied to get himself in, got himself in, and then married her within a couple months. It's a theme for TLC people.
That's fucking insane. Like, if I found that out, I would literally be like,
Leah's face is like,
I'm shocked. I did not know that.
You're like, you're speechless. You seem like completely shocked.
I'm blindsided because what? That's a little fucking much.
Do you feel like that's manifesting, or do you think it's stalker?
Stalker.
You do.
Yeah, you do. It's a little too premeditated. I get putting yourself in the situation to get something you want. But it's like, I watch you on a TV show and then I plot to be around you. That's Monica Garcia from fucking Salt Lake City. By the way, love her, Sarah. Love her.
Me
I don't
too.
know if you've been watching.
I don't. I'm not gonna watch next season without her. Like, I'm sorry, she made the entire season. Are you gonna watch next season of Salt Lake?
Yeah, because I am the girl who's like, I don't want to talk shit till I figure it out. But I mean, it's going to be stuffy. It's going to be a little too, like, Monica gave it flair. Like, I loved it. She came out. She's like, listen, I slept with my brother-in-law. I'm a whore. I've been excommunicated. I don't care. You know, let's have sex. Heather, is your daughter fucking everyone? Like, Monica didn't give a damn. I loved that about her.
Me too.
And I think it shook the cast up.
The realest moment, because I think half these women don't have half the money they say that they have. And I loved the moment where she just sat there and started crying. She's like, I bought a Louis Vuitton bag to fit in. I'm like, I feel like so many of us could relate to that. I just like loved it. I don't even really want to think about it because I don't want to watch next season. I can't stand those women without. Now I hate Heather Gay. I'm so like, I used to like Heather. Now I can't stand her.
I did too. And you know, okay, the last 2 seasons have made me fluctuate, but I really used to like Whitney. I felt like she was kind of the shakeup of the show when she first got on, very free, flat, like hippie girl, like I'm with my, you know, affair. Like I thought Whitney was kind of it, but now I feel like Whitney drags mess. I'm like, Whitney, shut the fuck up. It's always like, oh, you made me feel my own trauma. Like, girl, stop. I did enjoy Mary Cosby coming back, but to their point, she is a little bit of a bully. I mean, she is.
Well, I just think Mary doesn't really want to be there. I feel like when Mary told Andy, I'm just doing this as a favor to you, I feel like she feels that way. Like she doesn't have any interest.
I think that is true, but I don't know if you saw, she did a podcast interview where, you know, they talked about like, Mary, why were you not in more of the season? Like, I don't know if you noticed, there was like a point where she just stopped being in all the scenes. And she was like, production iced me out. And I was like, I don't know if that's for 2 things. One, because you were showing such disinterest at the things they had you at, or if this was like, you know, some other agenda. But I also think, you know, when you're on a show about friends, which none of these people are really friends, but when you have a show about a friend group and you always sit outside in the Sprinter or don't participate, it kind of, you know, it's like, bitch, you're collecting probably like a $10,000 check every episode. Get your ass back. We could use someone else who's more eager to be involved, for sure.
I know. I hope if Mary comes back, she comes back. She's full shade. I want to know more about the son. I want to see, you know, what is it? The grandfather that's now her husband or whatever. I want to see the step grandfather that's now her husband, whatever. I want to see him again. Yeah, if she's going to come back, I think they need her to come back without Monica, to be honest.
Yeah, no, they need the flair, but I think if Mary has any common sense, she will charge them a lot of money to do so, because I think, to your point, she's really not that interested. I think she, you know, she's very rich without the show. She clearly has prominence and influence in that area and in the church community. And, you know, I think it's fun for her, but it's not like her end all be all. Like, some of these people need this. Like, to me, a Meredith Marks needs this.
Yes. Lisa Barlow needs this.
Lisa needs it for her fucking ego. But also, I'm very tired of Lisa. Also, did you see recently that they found her endorsing Trump? They found her.
Really? No, I mean, that doesn't really shock me, does it? I mean, she's super rich. Yeah, and she's super into the more. Well, I don't know how Mormon she is or not, but you know, she says she's very religious. You know, so. Mm-hmm. But wait, you didn't answer. You didn't finish. Do you like Heather Gay now or not?
I'm indifferent. I liked what she used to bring. I think she used to be comedic fun. I think she, the good Mormon thing. But this year she got stuffy. Like when Monica asked a sex question about her daughter. Now, granted, do I think it's appropriate to ask people about kids and sex? Probably not. But Heather being so like, when you literally act like you're the slut of the group every other day, or like when she was arguing about Monica with who was more single, it's like, Heather, bitch, who gives a fuck? Like, I don't know. Some of the things that she persists on this season to me is really dumb. But I also think the double standard is at play because,
that story, that deflection of Jen Shaw and this stupid black eye and going on a book tour and lying, and then almost producers losing their job because she is so full of shit.
But Monica gotta go.
I know, but Monica has to go. Like you would trust Heather Gay, and I don't even know if I believe Heather Gay is telling the truth. I think she's such a liar. Who would buy her book? You're a complete liar. You've been lying for 2 years. I'm like, what credibility do you have? And I mean, did they ever? Oh, we're afraid of Jen. We're afraid of Jen. Okay. Get to the bottom. Why are you afraid? She's a narcissist that she has a ton of burn accounts and she'd harass your. Like, what is it that's so bad about Jen?
To be honest, I think it's a couple things. I think one, Jen was crazy as fuck. Like her temperament. I think to like rich, elitist white women, it was a little threatening. I think that also they all knew. I mean, think of the first couple seasons of Salt Lake City. Remember, there was always this kind of question about what does Jen really do? I think all them bitches knew that there was something in the water.
I agree.
So on top of this, there's this hyper aggressive, loud ass, bully ass, narcissist bitch who you probably already really knew the tea, what she was doing and what kind of shit she was into. And then on top of that, that's a liability not only to this show, because if everybody finds out you're in cahoots, then the whole show's gone. But then on top of that, then you're dealing with a fucking criminal. So I think there was several reasons for them to be scared. I wouldn't have been scared of Jen because all she do is yell. She ain't gonna pop me. Well, I don't know. She punched Heather, so fuck. Actually, maybe she would.
She might. Wait, I have one last question for you because I think we've wrapped up our 1,000-pound sisters predictions. You obviously think this show, they're getting endless seasons. They're meant for reality TV. The finale is this coming week. I mean, we're going to see the passing of Caleb. He passes away. Tammy, they did the teaser. Tammy gets the phone call. Chris is like, I don't even know if she's going to be okay. Then they show them at the funeral. I mean, okay, I think we feel like we're going to get another season very soon of 1,000-Pound Sisters. You and I are big fans. But I wanted to then switch gears and ask you, what are you hearing about RHOA? Like, you're a little bit of an insider girl. Do you hear anything in Atlanta about, according to Candy Burris, who I love, nobody's been given contracts, no one's filming. What do you think is going to happen there?
Word on the social media streets is they are going to try to bring back Nene and Portia. That's what I've heard.
Really?
Rumbling stuff. They said that Nene followed Bravo back on social media. Portia, she's been in and out of like, some of their little spinoffs on Peacock, like the girls trip stuff. And I mean, I don't think Portia needs it. She married a really rich man. So I think Portia is like living her best life being married to the rich. But I also think that Portia knows she can grab the network by the nuts if she wants to have a return. I think another question and another conversation to be had is if they haven't given Candy a contract and they have Phaedra back on Married to Medicine, people have been screaming for Phaedra to come back. What is it to just knock her back over and tell Candy to this season out? Because Candy has always said she wouldn't film with Phaedra ever again. So I'm curious. I do think they should bring Drew back. I'm a little biased because that's my girl, but I also think that the drama with her husband is just too fucking good for us not to see how it plays out.
Yeah. That was really good.
It's so toxic. It's so toxic. She's the only one with an actual storyline that that just is too good to not conclude. But that's what I've been hearing. Some of the OGs are coming back.
I mean, I love Candy, but I'm ready for her to go. I think Candy and Todd are they give me Mary Cosby. It's like, I don't think they're there because they know it's good promotion, but I think they have their own successful production companies, music, the kids now model. It's like, okay, you guys really aren't, I don't think they're giving us really their like full lives anymore. And they probably don't have the drama. They probably have a really healthy marriage. So there's probably not a lot of drama.
Yeah.
I just think Candy's, I don't know. I think her time, she's awesome. She's amazing and such a great businesswoman, but I think we could do without her.
Yeah, it's not as much going on that it's so salacious with her. She just kind of adds to it. But I think there's
Yeah.
something to be said about a shakeup when Candy has to be the center point of drama. I feel like last season she was like really trying to defend herself, and it was just like, this is not Candy's role in this type of ensemble. It just felt forced a little bit, and the storylines fell flat. Again, the only thing I cared about at the end of the season was Ralph and Drew. That was the highlight of that
Yeah.
reunion. Like her singing
What
to
she
him.
say?
Like,
When she serenaded him and Ralph's like, oh my God. That was so good. Oh my God, it was so good.
Yeah, that was it. That was all we had.
All right, Leah, you got to come back more often. We love you. You are amazing. You're great to follow on social media. Where can people follow you? Where can they listen to you? Because I'm assuming, too, we can stream your radio show online. Tell us.
Yes, you can follow me at Leah A. Henry, Leaha Henry, Henry. I am on Power 1075, 1063. That's 10A to 3P on, you can get the app. You can look at
Columbus,
online.
Ohio, baby. She's so good.
And then also, I have my new travel brand that I am starting. It's called Plus Paradise.
Oh.
So it's a body positive travel group. So we're going to Jamaica in December. But it's for everybody. Really, Sarah, you know this more than anybody. I think when you are plus size, traveling can be anxiety filled, right? It can be like super 1,000-pound sisters. Like you saw in real life last episode, Tammy struggling to leave, struggling to want to do anything, the constant thoughts. And oftentimes when you're in like these socialization settings, people don't think about you as a plus size friend. You go out with your friends, are all skinny, you're fat, and then they want to go zip lining and you don't fit on the harness. Now what? It's embarrassing, right?
Yeah.
So I just decided to create a group where we take that thought and that hassle out of people's minds so they can enjoy the trip and just know, like, when I'm putting my money down, these people are thinking of my interest as a plus size person. And then it's just body positive.
Leah, I think this is going to be so great for you. I think this is such a great brand. I really do. This is going to be this will be, I think, super successful because I think so many women want it. Yes, you know, I've shared obviously my body struggle for years and, you know, yeah, I mean, I think it's awesome to be empowered and be with other women that, you know, just want to be free and feel inclusive. And you just did a huge trip. You were where did you go? You went to Africa?
Yeah, I was in Ghana.
Yep. You were in Ghana. And wait, and you talked about this, right? Because you went to different areas where some people were body like inclusive, right? And then sometimes you felt like they weren't.
Well, not in Ghana. No, in Ghana, honey, I was a snack. Let me tell you something. Them men was like, hello, sista, impress. I was like, yes, honey. Ghana was different. But I have been other places, and I definitely think that, you know, there's just, you don't understand it unless you're plus size, but I just think that traveling has a lot of anxiety, and it shouldn't be that way. Like, you should be able to have luxury, nice experiences, and also like have a good time without feeling ostracized, for sure. But no, in Africa, girl, the big people's is the snacks, honey. I was a dessert and entree and an appetizer there, honey. Okay.
They loved you. Okay, well, hopefully we'll also be seeing you on 90 Day Fiancé. You would be so good. Please get a Ghanaian man and you could be on 90 Day. Oh, he would take such good care of you. He'd want to come here to the US. Oh my God. He'd be loving you.
I would love to be on 90 Day Fiancé, but all my friends are like, girl, we will disown you. And I'm like, I think
it would be crazy? Why? You'd be so good.
I think I would be great. Yes. I never told anybody this there. Every time I come on your podcast, I tell people shit I never say out loud.
Good.
I actually auditioned for a dating reality show. It was for Hulu, but it never got greenlit. It was supposed to be new of its kind, and then they didn't. And so we never heard anything, nothing happened. But the casting director told me like she was putting a 10 on my audition. Like she was like, we will push you through when the show, like, you will probably make it to LA to come do the in-person audition.
You are so good for reality TV because the way you were raised in your family, I mean, you just cut to the chase, you say shit, you know, I love it. Like I said at the start of this, one of my favorite things to do is get a phone call from you. I mean, we just dig in, we talk shit. I mean, you're so good at it. You'd be so good on reality TV. You know how it works. You're gorgeous. Oh my God, I want to see you on 90 Days so bad. Oh, you'd have those foreign men all over. Oh, and I hope you're like dating two of them. I mean, just like get, you know, in a side piece too. a
little snack on the side.
Yes.
Shit, that's what I deserve.
All right, keep me posted. I want you on a reality show. You're amazing. Love you, my friend. Thank you for jumping on. See you soon. Bye, Leah.